your Seattle Seahawks got an absolute gift from the San Francisco 49ers this week. It's Seahawks Today. I'm your host, Will Ortner, and I got to dive into this absolute present that those idiots down in San Francisco gave the Seahawks, and that is their wide receiver room is absolutely decimated. Their worst unit is going to be going up against your best unit on a Sunday, and I absolutely freaking love it. Right now in San Francisco, John Lynch, their general manager, is reaching, he's pulling, he's calling, he's asking anyone to come and help him, and no one is responding to his calls. But before we jump into that, I want you to show me and the rest of Seahawks Nation, the rest of your fellow 12s, how much you love the Seattle Seahawks. They're taking on the 49ers on Sunday. You don't want to miss our watch party here on Seahawks Today. That's going to be going live an hour before kickoff on Sunday. Make sure you come here and make sure you go in the comments and spam 12 right now, fans, as we get prepped for week one, finally being here with our Seahawks taking on the 49ers. Now, the first call that Lynch made over there in San Francisco was to Kendrick Bourne. And some of you may know Kendrick Bourne as a former Eastern Washington Eagle great, but he's been in the NFL for a multitude of years now. I believe he's on year 6 or 7 in the league. He played in San Francisco previously, so he kind of understands the system. He just left New England. He is a free agent, and the 49ers said, Kendrick, please help. Come quick. We need you. You're going to help us take the next step. Maybe you'll help us beat the Seahawks. And Kendrick, according to Ian Rappaport, said, no, thank you. He has decided after going to San Francisco and visiting with the team and going to Washington, in fact, that Bourne is not going to sign with a team. He has decided that it is best for him to sit out, give it some time, and figure out which team is going to best serve his needs. And that only helps us even more here in Seattle. Because I don't know if you know this, or if you've been paying much attention to the 49ers. I haven't really, aside from checking the injury report and injury wire. Their wide receiver room is gone, decimated. Look at what their wide receiver depth chart would be if everyone was 110% healthy. You look at this depth chart, the 49ers, that's a pretty darn good group. Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver 1, he isn't half bad. Ricky Pearsall, he's really taken a step up. I understand that he was a rookie last year and he missed a lot of time because of that injury, but I frankly felt like he played pretty well in games that he was asked to come in and perform in. Juwan Jennings feels like every time they needed a big third down catch last year, he came up and made that catch. Well, here's the thing. This isn't 110% accurate for the 49ers depth chart because everyone and their mother in San Francisco is hurt. Brandon Ayuk, he's not playing in this game. He's still coming off his knee surgery. Juwan Jennings, he just got back to practice. He's been dealing with a, air quotes, calf injury, one of those weird situations where he's also trying to get some more money, so was it more of a hold out, hold in type of situation? Ricky Pearsall, hey, he's healthy. Good for you guys. Everybody else in that wide receiver room, man, they are beat up. And this Seahawks DB unit in the cornerback room and in the safety room, they're just going to absolutely take advantage. Right now, look at the depth chart. Under Brandon Ayuk, Russell Gage Jr. is the third wide receiver listed in that position. I'll tell you right now, he's not going to be the third wide receiver listed in that position on Sunday. I'm going to dive into that. But before I do that, I got to talk to you about today's sponsor, the HOF app. I have it right here on my phone. Super easy to use. And our listeners get a 7-day free trial and 50% off their first month. Just download the HOF app and use code CHAT at checkout. Now, you know me, 12s, I love to gamble on sports, responsibly, of course, but I'm not the best at math, guys. When I'm gambling, I'm always looking for an edge, and the HOF app gives me that edge. Sometimes I'm in the lab, I'm crafting up my bets, especially my parlays. I just need some extra help. I use the HOF app to find the historical data and trends that I'm searching for to give myself the best chance to hit on my bets and my parlays. We all have that one friend, let's call them Steve, who is constantly complaining about losing a 4-leg parlay on his very last leg. The HOF app can help Steve and you out. The HOF app crunches millions of data points in seconds to help guide you on whatever bet you want to place. The app is super easy to use. Now, I don't have to rely on just my gut when making my bets. I can use math and analytics created by Ivy League sports geeks to bet smarter, not harder. For a limited time only, our listeners not only get a 7-day free trial, but they also get 50% off their first month when they use code CHAT at checkout. Just download the HOF app on iOS or Android, enter code CHAT, and you're all set. You don't want to miss out. There are no good options in San Francisco for the 49ers right now. You'll notice a name that wasn't on that depth chart, Marcus Valdes-Scantling. There were a lot of fans in Seattle that got really worried when San Francisco went out and signed him as soon as you cut him when it was roster cut day in Seattle. I'm not worried. I'm going to tell you why here in a second. But having MVS out there as your third wide receiver in San Francisco, I don't envy any of you. I don't envy you 49er fans. Russell Gage Jr., you might be thinking to yourself, Will, I frankly haven't heard that name ever. Or maybe it's, Will, I haven't heard that name in a while. I'll tell you why. There's a pretty good reason why you haven't heard his name in a bit. But back to MVS. The 49ers are going to have to use a wide receiver that we said, no thanks. We're good. We don't need you, MVS. You were a big free agent signing in Seattle. There was some money thrown around, a fairly decent amount, enough to where there were some Seahawk fans saying, well, you can't cut him. He's got too much guaranteed money. Seattle ended up moving on from him because of how well Torrey Horton did, and the 49ers couldn't scoop him up fast enough because they don't have another option. And he doesn't scare me. So what? MVS knows your playbook. You think he's going to go over to the defense over there? He's going to go over to Robert Saleh and say, hey, guess what? These are what all these calls mean. You think that Clint Kubiak isn't smart enough to change his calls? You think that Mike Macdonald is going to allow the same calls be made and same signals be made that the 49ers can take advantage of that? Use your head. This isn't college football. There's no Connor Stallions running around. MVS isn't smart enough to put you in the right spot there. The 49ers having to run MVS out, a guy that, by the way, they had on their practice squad earlier this week and are only calling him up because they absolutely had to. He doesn't scare me at all. He's not going to be a difference maker. He's a gadget guy who's got good speed deep. You've already got a bunch of DBs who know all of his best moves. It is not going to go well for him. There are no great options right now, and you're setting yourself up for an easy, and I mean easy matchup for your defensive backs. Yes, I understand that Ricky Pearsall, he's talented, and he's going to take steps forward. But right now, you think that he's going to beat Reek Woolen? You think he's going to do well against Devon Witherspoon out on the edge? I don't think so. Juwan Jennings, hey, man, I understand it. You're making a bunch of big catches on third down. Last year, he performed at a pretty high rate. He wants a lot of money. There's rumors that maybe the calf injury wasn't as bad as it necessarily was supposed to be. Maybe that calf injury was more so a money argument, and then he wasn't paid or isn't going to be paid the money that he wants. Well, now he's not out there performing at the level that he needs to be performing at. In my eyes, when I look at this wide receiver unit, man, oh man, is there a lot left to be desired. In my eyes, this isn't great. It isn't great at all. Russell Gage Jr., someone that I'd already mentioned earlier on. You might be saying to yourself, Will, I've heard that name before, but I just can't remember why. That's because Russell Gage hasn't played football since Tom Brady was in the NFL. I understand that in your eyes, you might be saying, Will, why hasn't Russell Gage played since Tom Brady was in the NFL? It's because he had a very significant knee injury. And I'm not here to sit up and gloat and make fun of any of that. That sucks, man. It's unfortunate that you're coming back from that. But when you're a player that has missed time since 2022, those are the last regular season snaps that Russell Gage took. You cannot be expected to be a primetime performer for the San Francisco 49ers. When they have to go to 3 wide receiver formations, It's either Gage or it's MVS. Those are two players that the Seahawks DBs can more than take advantage of. I'm pretty clear on who I've got. I've got the Seahawks. I'm going in the comments. I'm typing C. No, not that C. That C. I'm typing C for the Seahawks. If you're a 40-Winer fan, maybe you're going to go in and type SF. You'd be wrong, and, well, frankly, I wouldn't like you very much if you're going in to Seahawks today commenting that the 49ers are going to win. But I guess you're entitled to your opinion. Now, I want to welcome back someone that we've been worried about here on the channel, and that's linebacker Tyrice Knight. Obviously, he was dealing with an injury in the offseason. He hasn't been going much in practice and in the training camp in the build-up to this. But Coach Mike Macdonald came out today and said, hey, guess what? Knight is going to participate in practice. He participated so well, he's not even on the Seahawks injury report that I saw right before we started filming today. Look at his stats since he took over as that starting will linebacker. Now, I understand that at the beginning of the year, he was not a starter. So while he did play in 16 games, the numbers can be a little bit misleading. He doesn't really start until the last 8 or so of the season. But as soon as he started, he added a huge amount to that defense. Flying around, 88 tackles. Most of those are in those final 8 games. He's playing in the backfield as a linebacker. Tackles for loss is a great stat. It's an even better stat for linebackers because of the distance they have to carry to get those tackles in the backfield and tackles for a loss. He's even a player that you can add in on the pass rushing scheme. You need to dial up a fire zone, bring in a man blitz. Tyrese Knight can get home. I understand that he didn't have any forced fumbles. He did have a fumble recovery. You can see it in that picture. He is a prime-time performer for Seattle, and I love that he adds that much-needed depth as well to that linebacking unit. Earlier on, there was a lot of fear after Patrick O'Connell got waived after training camp. Hey, is Seattle going to have enough depth at that linebacker position? The only reason they were willing to make that move is clearly because they knew that Tyrese Knight would be back and be 100% healthy, running right next to his counterpart, Ernest Jones IV. Obviously, Ernest Jones IV, that's Batman. He's the captain of your defense. He's making the calls. He's making sure everyone's in the right spot. But sometimes you need Robin to come in and play a big role. And that's what Tyrese Knight does, and he does a perfect job of it. The other beauty of Knight, he's a rookie. He was a rookie last year. He can only get better. He can only improve. Yes, he's going to have some rust. Yes, it's going to take him some time to get ready and be firing on all cylinders. But I love this linebacking unit. I love Ernest Jones IV being right next to Tyrese Knight. I think this Seahawks defense is only going to improve. You saw improvements last year. It took them until about halfway through the year once Seattle made that move for Jones. Once they did, that defense started clicking the Mike Macdonald way. Imagine it clicking the Mike Macdonald way at the very beginning of the year. That's what it can do this year with Tyrice Knight returning from his injury. Do not miss out. We've got Seattle Seahawks videos and content coming out daily. I posted multiple videos today for you 12s. I'm going to do that every single freaking day of the Seahawks regular season, their postseason, fingers crossed, and in the offseason. The only way to make sure that you don't miss that is by subscribing to the channel. Until next time, I'll see you later.